I think it's good enough. Yeah.
Here we actually go. All right. We all ready?
Yep, I think so.
Cool. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yay. It's in the know. Viewers at home, you'll probably notice that Kelly is not with us today. I am Nick. We have Fiona here. And we're joined by our guest, Pam Saulnier from the Attic Theater. She's on the board of directors with the Attic Theater here in Appleton. And we're going to get to learn all about what they do. And that's going to be super exciting and fun. And yeah, let's hop right in to the intro.
In the know in
I
the
never hit that button.
920.
Woo! All
It's a
right.
nice little jam.
I know, isn't it so cute?
Yeah, so we're approaching the end of January.
Yes.
The whole month of this year has already flown by.
I know, it's been crazy.
Yeah. Kelly Davies is on her annual trip to Florida.
I know, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Her pictures are amazing.
Yeah, spending time with the kiddos, so I hope they're having a great time down there.
Mm-hmm.
Hi to them. Yeah, so we've got some construction going on in the office. Sounds like somebody's operating a forklift outside now.
Yeah, so if you listened to last week, you probably heard construction, and that is
Yeah.
still going on. So please bear with us while that's going on in the background here.
Sounds like you've got some great plans to make this an amazing
Oh my
house.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be stunning.
So
It's
yes,
gonna look
beyond
good.
that door, there's a lot going on.
There is. We always joke it's going to be like the Google of the Fox Valley. Like it's going to be gorgeous when it's all done.
We hope so, yeah.
Yeah, we hope so.
No, I trust the process. So, yeah, Fiona, we've got a little bit of stuff to talk about this week. Number one that I wanted to bring up is this listing that we have in Appleton. It's at 1503 North Graceland Avenue. It's 3 beds, 1.5 baths, 2-car garage. We've got it listed at $210,000.
Wow, that's priced really well.
Yeah, it's a sort of Cape Cod style house. With like the whole upstairs is just like one big room. Yeah, we're really looking for a buyer. So if anybody out there really wants a house in Appleton, let us know.
Yep. Yeah, that's a cute one.
Cape Cods are cute.
They are
It's a
super
nice
cute.
style for a house. Very
Especially when you can have like your
traditional
whole primary bedroom upstairs and have your own space up
Yes.
there.
looking.
Yeah,
Yes.
very, very nice.
My in-laws had a Cape Cod
Oh, really?
in Connecticut, yes. And the bedrooms upstairs, were huge.
Yes.
Because you had all that space.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah, sometimes you end up with the huge bedrooms, and I've seen somewhere it's like, goodness, could you have made this room any smaller?
Yeah, it depends on the layout. It really does depend. And then we have another listing out as well too, don't we, Nick?
Yes, also, and I think we've talked about this one on the podcast, or at least I know Kelly has. It's 407 Geraldine Court in Combined Locks. I believe we're scheduling an open house for this weekend,
Yes.
but this episode is actually being delayed. It's not coming out this week, I don't think.
Nope, it's coming out on Tuesday. So for our
Yeah.
listeners, it's coming out on Tuesday. So obviously you don't know about the open house, but the house itself is still available. So if you want to do any private showings, like you said, it's in Combined Locks. It's absolutely a beautiful, beautiful house. So if you want to do any private showings with anyone, with myself or anyone on the Kelly Davies Homes team, get a hold of us and we can get that scheduled for you.
Yeah, reach out. We got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. Do you have anything?
I don't think I'm excited to get Pam involved here
Yeah.
and start talking about the Attic Theater and everything that's involved there. So
Me
Pam,
too.
we're gonna kind of turn it over to you.
Sure.
So what is the Attic Theater all about? What is it?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the podcast. This
Yeah.
is really exciting. We love to have the opportunity to, reach ever greater audiences
Yeah.
about, you know, what we're doing, and also invite people to join us by participating in various ways. So this is great. People can find out how they can participate. So Attic Theater is a community theater that has been around since 1950.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Older than even me.
Jeez,
So,
yeah.
so this year we're celebrating our 75th anniversary.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah. And so over the years, Attic has presented plays for the community with community members. So anyone's, welcome to participate by auditioning for our shows,
Okay.
by participating backstage, by buying tickets and being in our audiences. Attic Theater was started in 1950 by the wife of a Lawrence University professor.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Her name was Zoe Cloak, and it started out as an acting class, actually, in the attic of their home. And so
Sure.
that's his name.
See,
and
that was
then-
my first question. I was like, where in the world did that name come
Yeah.
from?
Yeah. And so then they, decided, well, we're having so much fun with this acting class. Let's start presenting plays for other people to see.
Well, that's wonderful.
So yeah, and so Attic has produced small shows in small venues, and we've done big musicals and big theaters and things like that. So we've kind of done it all.
So you don't just have like one set venue that you prefer to be at. You're all over the place.
Well, actually, interestingly, this year, going forward, we lost our home. We were at the theaters at UW Oshkosh Fox Cities.
Okay.
Oh,
Fox
okay.
Cities campus in Menasha. Beautiful theaters. There's a large proscenium theater, which is kind of, your basic traditional
Right.
looking
Yeah.
theater. And then they have a small, what is called black box there, which is a very small space that can be configured any way you want it to be.
Sure.
You can do theater in the round, you move your chairs around, and
Yeah.
you do smaller shows in there. At any rate, the UW system is closing that campus as of June.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so we lost our home of 15 years.
Wow.
So that's presented a challenge, but also an opportunity, because what we were able to do once we just learned that last year, we started reaching out into the community, and we have been able to team up with or partner with venues around the Fox Cities, that some of which aren't usually known for producing theater.
Oh, very cool.
So, for instance, right before Christmas in December, we did the radio play version of A Christmas Carol
Oh, okay.
from a script that's, goes back to the 1930s and was written by Orson Welles. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That is a
I know
movie
the name.
my family, every other Christmas, we
so-
watch that movie.
Yeah, so we did the radio version of A Christmas Carol at the Vaudette in Kaukauna.
Really?
And it's a small space. It's an old theater. At one time, it was a theater. Now, what they do is it's a bar with a performance space.
Oh, okay.
And so they have bands there and things like that. And so we just kind of turned the evening. We did 2 performances. We turned the evening into a kind of a party. So we had the actors on stage, and it was staged like a radio play. So basically, everybody was standing in front of a microphone,
Sure.
and they,
Sure.
were acting, but there wasn't like elaborate sets or anything like
Yeah.
that. It was a great production, and then afterward we had an ugly sweater contest,
Yeah,
an
absolutely.
ugly holiday sweater contest, and refreshments for people, food, an open bar, and music, and it was just like a party. It was
that sounds wonderful.
really worked out really well.
Oh, That's great.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. So, for the different plays that you're putting on throughout the year, do you do children's plays and adult plays? Are they usually combined? Do you do multiple plays per year? Like, how do you typically do that?
Yeah, so Attic has evolved over the years. We used to have children's theater, and in the last handful of years, we have not done that. But, COVID and a lot of other things impacted
Sure.
All performing arts groups, really. But now, we're gearing up again. We now have an education committee, and that the focus is to get back into that, to
Yeah.
including plays that are open to children as well as adults.
I think that's amazing because when I was growing up, I'm from a small town in Illinois, and I did the Winneshiek Theater every year, and that's where it's just for children. And my brother and I did, and I think it was one we liked to do it, but it was another way for my parents to get us out of the house during the summertime. But it was like, I believe it was 3 weeks, and there were always 2 plays because so many kids did. They did 2 plays, and each play was maybe 45 minutes. So you would do a play, there'd be an intermission, and then there'd be the second play for the parents, and we loved it. I mean, it was so fun, and you got to dress up, and you got to act, and you met all these people, and it was so fun, and it wasn't, crazy hard plays, obviously, but as a kid, my brother and I, we loved doing that. It was so fun. My older sisters were all in plays and musicals. They got the singing voice. I did not, so I didn't do the musicals so much. But I think it's when you bring it back for the kids, for me, I love doing that. It was so fun. So I think there's so many kids in the Fox Valley that would also really love to do that as well too. I think it's amazing.
Oh, yes, I agree, and our board agrees as well, and so that's something that we intend to do going forward.
That's wonderful.
There's so many team sports opportunities for kids,
Right.
but really theater and dance are wonderful opportunities for kids too, to create, especially if you're doing a show together. That is very much a team environment.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
You're
For sure.
making friends, you're supporting each other, and you're creating something together. So
Right.
yeah, it's a
I agree
wonderful
completely.
thing.
Like I was a 3-sport athlete, so I did sports throughout the summer too. But I think with the theater and the acting, is it brought in more of that mental versus the physical, like the memorizing of the lines, the being able to be creative, the how to be funny or how to act during a certain scene and play off your scene partner. It just
Absolutely.
brings out where I feel like I was just more well-rounded because you get to use just different parts of where in normal life, you don't have to memorize as many things and get to be silly and goofy and act like someone completely different than yourself. I always thought was always so fun.
Oh yeah, the performing arts, really music, theater, dance, they have been shown to really help kids to help them academically,
Right.
just help them socially.
Yeah.
they're
It
wonderful.
builds a lot of important social skills for just career stuff later. I mean, even if you don't pursue acting at all, beyond school, it's one of those things where at least you can do more teamwork and cooperation stuff, and
Exactly.
100%.
You know.
And in the world of
Exactly.
technology, where I feel like
Yeah.
kids are seeing each other maybe less and less because you're through your phones or your Xboxes and things like that. Like
Right,
when you're
gets you out of
correct,
all
it
of
gets you
that.
out of that. It
Yes.
forces communication, but it also forces how to be confident in front of somebody. Like
Very
for
important, yes.
job interviews in the future and things. It's like, hey, if I could stand on a stage in front of a couple hundred people, I can go in front of one employee and have the confidence. It
Absolutely.
does build so
Yes.
much that
Yeah.
I don't think people realize all that it does.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Very much so.
So, for you personally, I don't know if we had this in the script here at all, but for you personally, what do you think is like your major motivating factor behind what you do with the Attic Theater?
For me personally,
Yeah.
well, I love the theater.
Okay.
I was a theater kid, and I've done theater in one form or another for, most of my life. And as we've talked about, all the benefits that children derive, adults derive those same benefits, right? It's
Yeah.
you're getting together with a group of people and you're working toward creating art, performing arts, that people will enjoy. So there's something really incredibly, I don't know, just it's so exciting to be a part of a show, and you're working with other people to create this thing then people are going to enjoy, and that's just such a wonderful experience. So so for me, and being a member of the board now, I take a backstage, so to speak, role, because a lot goes into what you see on stage.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Not just the acting,
Yeah.
but so many other details have to be taken care of. And so for me, that's also enjoyable because, I'm helping to make it possible for people to enjoy the theater.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
wonderful.
It's a great answer.
That is a great
See,
answer.
I knew you had something good there. I was like, she's got
Good
a great
answer,
answer.
good
You
answer.
can tell you're,
Maybe I should-
you're definitely passionate about it.
Go on a game show. Good.
Yes, yes. So how many plays a year do you guys typically put on? Do you typically put on one very large play a year, or do you do one large play and a couple small ones? So how many do you typically put on?
Well, again, we're sort of evolving, post-COVID, and now with this, so we call it Attic on the Move, now that we lost our longtime home and are going out into the community and doing various shows in various venues. So what we're doing this year, in the past, Attic would do several shows a summer
Okay.
at UW. Well, it used to be UW Fox Valley, and then it
Yeah.
became UW Oshkosh Fox Cities. But at any rate, we would do several shows in a summer. The focus was on the summer productions.
Sure.
But this year we're doing a couple of small shows and then two big ones this summer. So we did the Christmas show, and then in February we're doing a cute two-person romantic comedy called Two Across. The reference is crossword puzzles. And that's how these two people in the play meet. They're on a BART commuter train in San Francisco.
Okay.
And they're both working on crossword puzzles, and that's how they begin talking and get to know each other through the play. So we're doing that at Gibson Community Music Hall.
Oh,
on
okay.
College Avenue.
Yes, right downtown.
in
Cool.
Appleton.
Yes. Yeah.
And again, that's a place where people are most familiar with bands
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. But it lends itself really well to a small romantic comedy
Yeah.
like this.
That's awesome.
And so that's a new venue for us. So we're really excited about that one. And we had two performances scheduled on February 13th and 14th. They've already sold out. So we added two more
That's wonderful.
two more performances on February 17th and 18th. So we're doing that one. And then we're going to do something that Attic really hasn't done in quite a while. We're actually going to do a gala fundraiser in March.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And so that's on March 20th, and that's going to be at Poplar Hall in Appleton.
Oh, it's where we do our Christmas party.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people I think
Yeah.
who are familiar with Poplar Hall are like, well, that's a great venue for like weddings.
It is,
and,
yes.
But groups do fundraisers there, and so what is going to be included in that evening is performances by Attic actors.
Oh, okay.
So there's going to be singing and some acting performances, and then there's going to be food, cash bar, and a silent auction.
Wonderful.
Because this is going to be an opportunity for people in the community to support Attic. So this is another kind of small event. But tickets are still available for it. And then this summer, we're going to do two larger productions. The first one will be in June, and that will be at Xavier High School
Okay.
Now that's a really big
Nice. Yeah.
auditorium, but we'll the our our seating will be kind of in the middle section
Sure.
of that, and it's a play called The Book of Will. And it's written by Lauren Gunderson, who wrote a play that we did last summer called Silent Sky.
Okay.
Beautiful playwright. And it is about a group of actors who were friends of William Shakespeare's.
Oh, that's cool.
And part of the acting group called the King's Men that produced a lot of his plays.
Oh, interesting.
And after he dies, they realize that his plays will get lost for posterity if they don't gather them together and make it possible for people to be able to read them and produce them. So they kind of scramble to get all the pieces of the plays he's written and basically create what's known as the first folio
Wow.
of Shakespeare's plays. So it's comedy drama. It's about
Yeah.
friendship. It's sort of about their devotion to their very dear friend and trying to keep his memory and his artistry alive for posterity. So that's the Book of Will. That will be in June, and then in July we're going to do a huge musical. We're going to do a musical called Kiss Me, Kate,
Oh, okay. What's that about?
which is hilarious. It is a really, really fun. It was revived on Broadway about a half dozen years ago. It is so funny. It kind of continues our Shakespeare theme because it's about an acting company that is doing a musical version of Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
But then the play involves on stage and backstage. So you're kind of you'll be going back and forth between scenes of this play that they're doing and then what's happening backstage.
Sure.
And what's happening backstage is chaos.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, so the male and female leads of the play, who play Catherine and Petruchio in The Taming of the Shrew, who are really Fred Graham and Lily Vanessa, well-known, very famous actors who used to be married and are now divorced.
Oh.
And kind of bickering with each other all the time. But in reality, they really love each other. And, so that
Yeah.
bickering has, undercurrents of they're really still attracted to each other. And then in addition to that, one of the actors in the play did a little bit of gambling on the side and wrote and signed Fred Graham's name to an IOU.
Oh, jeez.
So then you've got a couple of very funny gangsters who come looking for Fred Graham for payback on this IOU.
Yeah.
Fred Graham doesn't know what the heck they're talking about. And the gangsters, it's kind of typical, like 1940s, late 1940s setting, so they've got the hats and the coats.
Yeah.
But then somehow through, a bunch of circumstances, they end up getting dressed up in Elizabethan garb and get thrown on stage.
Oh,
The
geez.
show is really, really funny. There's beautiful, beautiful music in it, and there's going to be an opportunity for a lot of people in the community to participate, to audition.
Oh, that's
It's a
wonderful.
big cast on that one.
So I got a couple questions off of that. So my first one is, how do you guys choose which plays you're going to do? Like, do you have a list where you get a group together and decide? Like, how do you choose what you're going to do from the little ones, like you're doing in February,
Yeah.
to the big ones in the summer?
Yeah.
How do you pick those?
Well, it's a real collaborative process. We have a group on the board who, reads plays and always looking for, what's kind of interesting and new.
Yeah.
And then we also reach out to directors
Okay.
and say, what would you like to do? And
Oh,
then
sure.
right? And so then, that's how it's worked out, combining sort of the, passion of directors. Oh, this is a show I'd really love to direct, and then balancing that with what are we trying to achieve as an organization.
Sure.
So, we want to do big musicals, although they are very expensive to produce.
Correct. Yep.
So it's very hard for community theaters to do big musicals
Correct,
every
right.
year. So Attic hasn't done a quote unquote big musical
Even
in
the
a
rights
while.
to the music, or to just to physically buy the script itself,
That's
it can be
right.
very expensive.
That's right.
So do you have multiple producers that you, or directors, I'm sorry, that you're typically working with, or do you, every play is somebody different, or are you saying like, hey, we typically have 5 people that do all of our plays? How do you do that?
We open it up.
Oh, wow.
So, we reach out into the community and say, okay, directors, let us know if you'd like to
Sure.
work with us
Wow.
next year. So, yeah, we have directors who direct for us more than once. We have new directors who have never directed for Attic before. Dee Savitas will be directing The Book of Will. She has directed for Attic Theater before.
cool.
Amanda Peterson will be directing Kiss Me Kate.
Okay. So with that, so it looks like they're both in the summer. When do you hold auditions? Have you already done that for these summer plays? Typically, how far in advance do you do that? So for people that are watching, if they do want to audition, when does that usually take place for them?
Yeah, sure. That's coming up. That's coming up in March.
Okay.
March 9th
Okay.
and 10th. So March 9th is a Sunday, and March 10th is a Monday. And March 9th will be 1 to 5 p.m. And Monday, March 10th, will be 6 to 9 p.m. Did I say 1 to 9 p.m. or 1 to 5 p.m.?
I think you said 1 to 5.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
1 to 5 p.m. and then Monday, March 10th will be 6 to 9 p.m. And the auditions will be located at All Saints Episcopal Church
Okay.
Downtown Appleton, right on Drew and College
Yeah.
Streets. And then for all the details about auditions and how you prepare and character information and specifics about, what to do for auditions, people should go to our website, which is attictheaterinc.com.
Wonderful.
Attic Theater, theater is spelled R-E, so ATTICTheatreinc, Inc.com. attictheaterinc.com.
Perfect. So for those that are auditioning for the larger plays, do you try to have everyone who auditions at least get some part, whether it's, just in the chorus, or do you actually have cuts? You're like, I'm sorry, this play isn't for you. Maybe try again in the future, just so that people have, what expectations do you have for those people?
Sure. Well, that's totally a director question.
Sure. Okay.
So I can't really, comment on that. I know that we like to involve as many people as possible, but you do have certain limitations in terms of, you have to costume all these people.
Correct, yep.
And, that sort of thing. So, I don't know what the director's vision is in terms
Sure.
of how many people will be cast, but it's going to be a big cast. So we're asking people to come on out. If you don't think that it's something that you could do or have done, don't let that stop you. Come out.
Yeah, absolutely.
that's fun.
It is fun. I know. I'm almost like, I'm kind of into this. This would be
Yeah.
super fun.
You're like, I got a little free time.
I could make the weekends work. So is there anything else that you would like to tell us about Attic Theater that we haven't already touched on?
Well, I think something that I think we like to kind of get out there is, I think people see arts organizations fundraising all the time, or what seems
Oh,
like all
yeah.
the time to them. The reality is, for performing arts organizations, and that's the symphony, the PAC, touring groups, community theaters, and we have a really healthy community theater environment here in Northeast Wisconsin. A lot of groups, which is great. A lot of opportunity for people to get involved. So the cost of tickets never covers all of your expenses.
Sure.
And that's true for professional theaters, it's true for amateur theaters. And that's just the reality of it, because as you mentioned before, getting the rights to do a show, so every show is held by an organization, and there are a number of them out there that hold the rights to perform that show.
Yeah.
And you have to pay to do the show. You have to buy scripts, costumes. When you're doing a musical, you have to buy all the music. All that costs money. You have to build sets, build costumes. All those things cost money.
Hair, makeup, that's everything.
So that's why you see, the PAC and various, the symphony, New Voices, all the community performing arts groups, have fundraising because ticket prices would be just way too expensive if you use your ticket price as your only source of income. It would be too expensive, really, for people to afford.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we like to keep our ticket prices affordable.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you want the community to be able to enjoy what you're putting on without having to pay super, super high amount. So what does the future look like for Attic Theater?
Well, we're really excited. Oh, I should mention that Kiss Me Kate will be at Neenah High School.
Oh, okay. Very
At
nice.
the new high school?
Yes.
Cool.
Nice. That'll be really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. So going forward, I think we're going to be Attic on the Move for a little while longer,
Okay.
until a decision is made about what will happen to the facilities at UW Oshkosh Fox Cities. And we're hoping that, a way will be developed for all of the groups that use not just the theaters, but the Weiss Science Museum and the planetarium.
The planetarium's the big one to me. It's like, what's going on?
Right. There are so many groups that are hoping to be able to continue to use those facilities. But in the meantime, looks like we're going to be Attic on the Move for a while. Sure. And we're really excited about being able to get out in the community and partner with various venues. So we like and we had such good response to our Christmas show in a small venue, and now 2 Across in a small venue. So our plan is to keep doing that. Do a couple of smaller shows in different venues. Get us out there. Hopefully new people will see and enjoy our work, and then do hopefully a couple of larger summer shows in hopefully places like UW or the high schools, which are wonderful. We've got the high school theaters in this area are fantastic.
Yes, they are.
Beautifully equipped.
Yes. And so one last question, for our audience here who might be wanting to audition, what does the commitment look like? How long do you rehearse? How many days a week do you typically rehearse? How many months until the date of production? So what does that look like for those that do make it on the cast?
Right. So again, those are director questions. I can tell you just from my experience as an actor, having done shows, a typical, and again, I don't know what our 2 summer shows, what the directors have planned for their rehearsal process, but typically community theaters will have about a 6-week rehearsal period.
Okay.
And that's usually starts out a couple of nights a week, and again, it varies. How big is your part in the play?
Sure.
Right.
how the director wants to kind of approach it, the play itself. Is it, is it, is it a lot of ensemble work, so everybody is on stage a lot of the time? Then that means that, everybody will be asked to be at rehearsal. There might be 3 or 4 rehearsals a week, until you get right up to what's called Tech Week, which is the week right before the show opens.
Yeah.
And that's where you have your technical rehearsals, all the lighting and the sound and that kind of thing, and then your dress rehearsals where you add in your costumes. So that final week is pretty much every day leading up to opening night. For a musical, for a full-scale musical where there's a lot of, singing and dancing, you have to learn your music first, and then there'll be separate music and choreography rehearsals before you begin your staging rehearsals. So that rehearsal process might take a bit longer. It could be 8 weeks, although that is kind of long. 8 weeks is kind of long for an amateur show. But you can figure somewhere along those lines.
So about 6 weeks for maybe 3 to 4 nights a week or so.
About, and again, I couldn't give you specifics for these shows. But when you audition, the directors typically provide a rehearsal schedule, so that you kind of know what you're getting into, before you actually walk into the audition room.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that is very cool.
Yeah.
So maybe you guys will audition?
Sounds very interesting. It really does.
Yeah.
Summer for us is very, very, very busy. But I think it would be something that it sounds very cool. Definitely something I would look at. And if I don't audition, definitely to check out one of the plays would be really cool. For sure.
Definitely. Even just watching them is always fun to me.
Yeah.
I did a theater class in college where I had to assist in the theater a couple times, and that was always cool because it's fun when you see the same show but like a couple nights in a row, so you see the different things that happen on each performance. That was always my biggest takeaway, was like, oh yeah, he screwed up that line, but they kept going and the show's still funny.
Yeah, you gotta keep going.
You gotta keep going. Gotta roll with the punches, that's for sure.
Yeah. So people can buy tickets, find out more about the shows, find out about auditions, donate, volunteer for backstage or any other capacity by going to attictheaterinc.com.
Wonderful. Cool. Thank you so much for sitting with us. This was really, really wonderful.
This has been fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. And I got to figure out how is it this one?
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To contact the Kelly Davies Homes team for all of your buying and selling needs, call 920-791-9047. Find us on Facebook at the Kelly Davies Homes team or go to kellydavieshomes.com.
Very cute.
Wonderful.
Very cute.
Oh, thank you so much. That was awesome information.
That was really fun.
Yeah, that was